Have you ever used an app and just felt like it was actively working against you, like it was designed to make you frustrated? Well, today we're going to get to the bottom of why that happens. And the answer, believe it or not, involves a very famous cartoon dog.
Okay, so this is a true story. It was me. I was half asleep, scrolling on some shopping app at like midnight, and I somehow ended up with a dozen identical phone cases. 12. The delivery guy shows up with this absolutely massive box, and he just stares at me.
And this is where it gets really embarrassing. My entire job, the thing I get paid to do, is to design things so people don't accidentally order 12 of anything. So look, either I am just terrible at my job, or there's something fundamentally broken with how we're all designing apps. Spoiler alert, it's the apps.
So this expensive, very embarrassing mistake set me down a rabbit hole, and it led me to a pretty weird place: my childhood Saturday morning cartoons. Specifically, to the world of the most chaotic, lovable, and, as it turns out, insightful character ever, Goofy. You remember those old how-to cartoons, right? Goofy gets so excited. He reads the whole rule book. He puts on all the right gear. He does every single thing he's supposed to do. He's the perfect student, ready to go. But the second he steps onto that field, it is an absolute disaster. And watching these again as an adult, it was like a light bulb went off. It's not Goofy's fault. The game is designed for these perfect, ideal conditions. But Goofy is operating in the real world, a world of total chaos and mistakes and really, really muddy fields.
Your app, with its neat little buttons and its logical flows, that is the football game. It's designed for a perfect user who is never distracted, who never makes a single mistake. It's designed for that perfect game on a perfect day. And this is the whole thing right here. Every single one of us, on any given day, is Goofy. We're distracted, we're tired, we're holding a screaming toddler with one hand while trying to order groceries with the other. We live in the chaos, not in the perfectly designed game.
So with this new Goofy framework in my head, I started looking really closely at the apps we all use every day, especially the big e-commerce ones. And I started seeing these invisible traps, these recurring patterns that are almost perfectly designed to make us fail.
I mean, you've felt this, right? You're just trying to buy a backpack, and suddenly it feels like one wrong tap, just one little slip of the thumb, and you might accidentally buy a brand new car. That feeling is not your imagination. These apps are filled with design patterns that make mistakes not just possible, but probable.
I basically found 4 major failures that pop up over and over again. You've got the invisible ad that's disguised as a real button, the mystery measurements that make it impossible to know if that table is going to fit in your room, the terrifyingly easy-to-hit accidental purchase button, and my personal favorite, the impossible drop-down menu that you can never, ever tap correctly on the first go.
And the absurdity of it all is just, it's staggering. We literally have more protection when we're sending a free email than we do when we're spending a good chunk of our salary. Think about that for a second. You can unsend a typo to your boss, but you can't undo an accidental 25,000 rupee purchase? It's completely bonkers.
The reason this stuff matters so much is that designers often forget a really simple fact. We are all temporarily impaired sometimes. You know, whether it's a permanent condition like arthritis, or you're just holding a baby, or maybe you just have long fingernails. We all have these moments where our motor skills are not perfect. We are all basically wearing invisible mittens when we use our phones.
Okay, enough complaining. Because here's the good news. All of these problems are totally fixable. It just requires a little shift in thinking. Instead of designing for that perfect, flawless user, we need to start designing for Goofy.
So I came up with 3 really simple principles. First up, the Mitt-Test. This one solves the accidental purchase button and the impossible dropdown by just making you make tap targets bigger. Easy. Second, strategic friction. For the really important stuff, like spending money, you actually slow the user down. You make it deliberate. And third, show me, don't tell me. This fixes the whole mystery measurements problem by just using visual comparisons we can actually understand instead of a bunch of abstract numbers.
This is really the heart of strategic friction. It's not about making things hard to use. It's about preventing those expensive, frustrating mistakes. Just give us 5 seconds. That's all we're asking for. A simple, forgiving undo button that admits we're all human. And you know what? Sometimes we mess up.
Now, this might sound like it's all just about making shopping apps a little less annoying, but the idea here is actually so much bigger. This is really about empathy.
It's about designing a digital world that actually works for everyone, not just for the people who happen to be having a perfect, focused, non-chaotic day.
The perfect real-world example of this is the curb cut effect. You know those little ramps on sidewalks? They were originally created specifically for people in wheelchairs. But look who uses them now. Literally everyone. Parents with strollers, delivery guys with carts, people on scooters. When you design for the person with the most constraints, you almost always make things better for everybody.
And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway. The one simple question that can totally transform a design from being frustrating to being fantastic. This is the whole Goofy test in a nutshell.
Could Goofy use this? And I don't mean the perfect rulebook studying Goofy. I mean real-world Goofy, the distracted, clumsy, having a bad day, wearing invisible mittens Goofy. If the answer to that question is yes, you've built something truly, wonderfully user-friendly.
Because here's the thing. Designing for Goofy isn't about dumbing things down. It's about acknowledging our shared, beautifully imperfect humanity. Because on any given Tuesday, when we're tired or we're stressed or we're just not paying attention, that Goofy, that's all of us.